Thank you, Adam, for your request that I make a comment about the grip, and particularly why it is that you find that a stronger grip is going to compress the ball better. Well, let's talk about what those expressions mean. A stronger grip doesn't mean that you're gripping tightly. It's not about squeezing, it's about the location. And so the term stronger grip means that the left hand, particularly, is turned in such a way that you can see two or three of your knuckles without moving your head, and that the thumb is to the right of center, and that the line that goes up between the knuckle of the forefinger and the thumb is pointing over your right shoulder. Very traditional way of holding the club. Why does that compress the ball better? And why do you care? Well, compressing the ball more gives you more rebound and therefore more distance. Now, the reason is about one of my favorite expressions, shapes and force. The shapes that we adopt in golf and the force that we apply to those shapes and ultimately to the collision with the ball are critical. And I commonly talk about biasing, where I say that golf is not symmetrical, and that our left elbow and arm in general, shoulder in general, shouldn't look like a mirror image of the right one. The right one has the elbow looking down with the elbow slightly bent and the shoulder lower. The left one should have the shoulder higher and turned in such a way that the elbow is looking out to the right. Now, the reason is because of the application of force. If you take a golf club and try to move it very fast in this direction, you'll notice that the club stays behind. Well, that's true as we apply force on the downswing. When we pull on the club, it pulls back on us, and it wants to rotate to the right, the face, drop down, tuck in, and then risk hitting, of course, fat, and then out to the right, which, of course, is magnified if we fall for the recommendation that an in-to-out swing is a benefit, which I think you all know I don't agree with. So then there's the collision with the ball. And although the center of the club, the percussive center, often called the sweet spot, would not allow the club to deflect, the chances are we tend to prefer the outer two-thirds of the club face just because the inner third is so destructive, shanking. So if you catch the ball anywhere outside of the sweet spot, as they call it, the percussive center, then there's an additional deflection and weakening of the compression of the ball. So we bias and we maintain the bias, and we even check it with a waggle and during the backswing, so that when we pull on the golf club, our arms and body are in a position to overcome the drag of the club and even the impact with the ball and possibly even the ground, so that the club is turning to the left like a gate turning, shutting as it goes through the ball. We don't want the club face to be held looking toward the target, because in fact, to do that, we would have to actually rotate our arms to the right subtly through the swing. That leaves us vulnerable to that weakening of the hit. So you compress it more if you've got a stronger grip, because that's associated with these shapes that allow us to apply force more effectively.